Hello everyone, and welcome to a game called Wounded by Words. This is a game about 6 survivors who, I think they just talk. I don't know. This is a visual novel, and I'm excited to learn what they have to talk about. I think I'll always remember that day. Even if I have lived through more perilous situations, this one held a special place in my heart. Oh, this might be a kinetic story. I remember everything so vividly because it was a human experience, an unconventional one at that, just like war, actually. Maybe it left a mark on me precisely because it reminded me of war, of the pain, of the hopelessness. And also because it made me feel useful again. I thought I could help people, that I could be a functional human being again. That may have been foolish of me. One can never return from hell, after all. Never. Even so, I remember that day as a moment of hope. I tried to cling to that, convincing myself it was my last chance. Was it in vain? I had an appointment with the doctor after noon that day. I knew it would be unpleasant. He took me to the same thing as usual. He told me that I had to make an effort for my treatment to work. I couldn't care less. I didn't believe in its effectiveness. I truly thought I was a lost cause. At the time, his words were painful, and I couldn't escape them. I took a stroll in order to occupy my mind, and somehow I ended up at the shopping center. There were people everywhere, talking, walking, kissing, laughing. A crowd was lively, too lively for me. I had barely taken a few steps, and already felt dizzy. I felt tired, so tired. Hearing those voices of these people, living their daily life, happily without a doubt, was breaking my heart even further. I didn't belong there, among the normal, among the humans. I didn't fit in this picture of joyful couples and families. But I couldn't stop hearing the voices, laughing louder and louder. I couldn't understand a thing, but I was already fighting to escape those words. I was there, walking slowly, and trying to ignore my terrible headache, when the deafening sound broke through my thoughts. I heard an explosion, and the walls began to shake as the windows blew up into tiny pieces. There were screams, people panicking, running in every direction, rushing towards the exits. I could clearly see the fear in their eyes, their failure to grasp what was going on. The ceiling was crumbling, increasing the panic. At that moment, they were all wild animals, and soon enough they became aggressive. I was tired, so very tired, and my head ached so badly that I was too slow to react. How can you react other than panic? I was knocked over, trampled by the hysterical crowd, my field of vision blurred. The last thing I heard before getting hit by a collapsing rock. You got hit by a collapsing rock? Was yet another explosion. Then everything went black. After I snapped out of it, all I could see was pitch black. There was a strong smell, dust particles, but I could feel a presence next to me. I wasn't alone. Ah, you're finally awake. As I opened my eyes wide, I saw a distinct silhouette in the darkness, given the tone of voice. This person seemed to be an old lady. I was afraid your injury would be more serious. Thank God you're okay. Where are we? I wish I could tell you, young lady. I think we've fallen from the ground floor. We must be on the lower ground floor. How did we manage to fall exactly? Well, it's a long story. You were hit by a stone. Do you remember? This old lady seems to know a lot. How did she make it? Yes, I do. What happened after? I saw you pass out. I couldn't leave you there in that pitiful state. Not when there were people walking over your unconscious body. I tried to slap you awake, and you did open your eyes a bit, but I could clearly see that you were only half conscious. So I pulled you back up and leaned you against my shoulder to help you walk. Since we were as slow as snails, it was near impossible to get away from the ground when the ground collapsed beneath us. Do you feel a bit better now? That rock must have stunned you. Wait, you pulled me back up to save me from staring death in the face? I don't know what to say. I mean, you didn't have to. You could have escaped on your own. If you don't owe me anything. Why did you bother saving me when you were in danger too? Because she's being nice, she's being helpful, she's being courteous. She might also be the depiction of death in the story. I'm a little suspicious of her. That, young lady, is my duty. I want to help as many people as I can, and please don't thank me. I don't do that for a pat on the back. Just get better. That's all I ask. If that's all you ask, I can't decline, but everything seems okay. I just feel a bit numb. That's a relief. Well, we're lucky that none of us got any major injuries during that fall. Now, it'd be even better if we could get out of here. I don't know about you, but I don't particularly like dark rooms, and this place isn't welcoming either. Since it's pitch black, we have to be cautious and not do anything reckless. Let's see. After feeling around in the darkness carefully, I came to a conclusion. Madam, I think we've figured out the situation. We're actually between 2 floors, that's why it's so dark. The bad news is, I don't know how long this little platform will hold. I think it's safe to assume it's not the most stable piece of ground. Just as I finished talking, a grinding noise confirmed my theory. I felt the platform shake a bit. It might fall down at any minute. It smells like trouble. What do we do now? Any ideas? I thought deeply while looking around. There was nothing to the right or left, only a fragile pile of intertwined junk and pieces of what previously used to be the ground. It appeared that they were the only things keeping the platform from falling. It was impossible to climb into a broken pillar because of the smooth marble, and there was no sign of light above it anyway. I'm sorry, this upbeat music over the words of devastation is very disorientating. I hope it's not the same song over and over again, to be honest. It was impossible to climb into the broken pillar because of the smooth marble, and there was no sign of light above it anyway. It would have been too dangerous to jump blindly. I decided to look down as well just to be sure, and knelt. Now that I was used to the darkness, I could see light right under the platform, the lower ground floor in all likelihood. I pointed it out to the old lady. I think the lower ground floor is just here. We could jump and try to find the exit from there. We're not up that high. I don't think we get hurt. What if the platform falls on us? We'll just have to be quick. If you think it's safer than staying here, I'll do as you say. Feeling that the unsteady platform was slowly inclining and creaking more and more, I sat down and went first, hoping that the landing wouldn't be too violent. Violent? Surprisingly, a bunch of rubble softened my fall. It softened it? And I landed perfectly. There was a corridor, and some people looking at me with surprise. A mother and her child. As encouraging as seeing other faces was, I had to focus on my companion first. Okay, she's probably not the depiction of death, but she doesn't have a name yet. Madam, you can go ahead, it's safe, and there are other people down here. Roger, here I come, catch me. The old woman jumped as well. Mission accomplished. Maybe we can leave now. A woman in her 30s approached us with her child, who was hiding behind her, and told us with a calm voice, "I'm afraid I have to let you down, because there's no way out of here. We're trapped as well." "Are you sure?" As I was about to ask the stranger for more information, I heard a voice calling for help nearby. Everybody looked in the same direction. There was a door leading to the bathroom at the end of the hallway. Without a second thought, I rushed in, followed by the woman I just met. Oh, this is a click game. Oh, neat. Okay. This is a pleasant surprise, and I do like this. A large pile of rubble. There's no way I can dig through this, so the exit is completely sealed. Another pile of debris. Strange. I swear I could hear a faint sound down there. I'll talk to you. The woman's child, who's unbelievably quiet. I wish all children would be like that. Okay then. Taking the bus might even be pleasant. He seems to avoid my gaze. I wonder if I'm scaring him. No. Poor kid shouldn't be stuck in a situation like this. No kid should. At least some of the lights are working. It's better than being in the dark. I just hope we'll still have electricity a while longer. A hole where we came from. We can't climb back there now, even if we wanted to. The hole sounds strangely sexual when I put it that way. Those lights won't work anymore. Actually, it's a wonder not all of them are broken. The ground had been slightly damaged. At least we can be lower than we are right now. All these observations. I think it's safe to assume the door leads to the bathroom. Oh, I just want to do everything. A mirror is dirty, but it's still intact. I really don't want to look at myself right now. Most of the lights are working. I guess we won't be pissing in the dark. We entered the bathroom. We immediately noticed a young man lying on the floor. He looked like a teenager and seemed embarrassed. I understood why. There was a wheelchair next to him, stuck under a rock. He must have been crawling in order to retrieve it. Ahaha! How troublesome. Don't worry, we'll put it back in place. Thanks. It's not working as well as before, but it's better than nothing. Not having anything else to do in the damaged bathroom, we decide to go back in the hallway. Nice to meet you all. The more the merrier, I say. We should be happy about the fact that we're still alive right now. Maybe now is a good time for introductions. Well, At that exact moment, there was a strange sound, the sound of scratching and coughing. There's another one. We all turned back to see what it was, and suddenly a human hand emerged from the pile of debris. Humph. Murr. We all cringed simultaneously. My heart beat harder. Could it be? The hand cleared out the stones as it made its way out. A man got out of the ruins and dusted himself off. We were made speechless by his appearance. Phew, close call. Hello there. May I know where this is? And may we know what you're doing out there? What you were doing out there? Why are you guys suspicious of this? This is the same, we're all in the same situation. I was unconscious under this pile of junk. I thought the music changed for a split second. I thought. No, it's the same song, I'm afraid. I was unconscious under this pile of junk. I just woke up after hearing your voices, but couldn't tell where I was. I saw light, and here I am. I guess now is a good time for introductions, unless there's another one hidden somewhere else, but I doubt it. I'm Aline, retired, 73 years old, and still kicking. I was about to go shopping when this thing occurred. Everyone was screaming and jostling around. Then I saw this young lady on the floor getting walked over by those beasts, and I gave her a hand. As we were all slowly escaping, the ground shifted right under our feet, and here we are. Agatha. Retired Army officer, 28. I was passing through the shopping center for a little walk, and you already know the rest. Gabriel, 19. Student. I was idling around and went to one of the only wheelchair-accessible bathrooms. I heard a commotion outside, but had to take my time getting back out. Then a part of the wall collapsed near me as I was getting out, and the impact ejected me out of my wheelchair. I passed out, and you helped me get it back on track just after I woke up. I'm Elisha, 32, and I have too many jobs right now to count. Let's say cashier and cleaner for now. My son, Hassan, right here, slipped away from me while I was trying to get out of the shopping center, and I had to look for him, right in the middle of the commotion. I found him here. I guess it was the quietest place at the moment, hence why he chose it to take shelter. He hates crowds and noise. Anyway, as soon as I reached him, the walls right here collapsed, and the way out was closed off. We took some time to calm down, and that's when you came in. As for me, I'm Dave, 47 years old. I'm the director of the departmental team of a local public service corporation. We work for the common good. Our office is located on this floor, and I was actually sleeping in mine when the alarm rang out. It's a little embarrassing, but I assure you it's not because I was partying the night before or anything like that. I'm just currently really busy with new files coming out of nowhere. I haven't slept much lately, and couldn't help but fall asleep at my desk. I got trapped in the office since nobody came to see me. They must have thought I already got out. To be honest, I didn't fully understand what was going on when the wall collapsed on me. I was knocked out. But fortunately, it also allowed me to join up with you. I take it as none of our cell phones work. The teenager, the woman, and the salaryman had all sighed in unison. No signal? We're underground after all, and if the building had really fallen down on itself, it's no surprise. Does anyone know what actually happened? What was it, an earthquake? A strange earthquake, then. I didn't feel the ground move under my wheels at all. I'd say it was a terrorist attack. A terrorist attack? Yes, I'm pretty sure it is. A small group recently threatened this exact shopping center, saying they wanted to lash out at a symbol of capitalism in our country. Considering this center is a big economic landmark for the city, it wouldn't be surprising. You seem knowledgeable about these things. I mean, she is, like, a veteran. Well, I was in the army, after all. I had to handle many difficult situations during my missions, and I was frequently in contact with other units. So what is your opinion on our situation right now? Do you think we have a chance of escaping? Well, I examined the place a bit earlier, so here are my thoughts. Firstly, it's a miracle that all of us have reached a place as large as this one. Usually people trapped underground by something like an earthquake are stuck in a much narrower tunnel. So they can't even move or stand up. Plus, they usually get little light and no means of taking care of themselves. Here we have some fully functional toilets, and some are the lights are still working. Not sure they'll last long, though. My big question is resources. The taps aren't working. Does anyone have something to eat or drink? I do. I have a full bottle of water in my purse, and I haven't opened it yet. I can definitely share it. That's a new miracle. I only have one request. Go ahead. I also have a smaller bottle of juice. I'll share the water, but I'll keep the other one for my son, if you don't mind. He doesn't like water. How can someone not like water? It's tasteless. Bro, I didn't like water as a kid either. Shh. Everyone has their quirks. Let him do as he wants. No problem. I understand that the kid needs more attention than us. Thank you. He really needs it, and I don't want him to be bad-tempered. It's not a good time for that. So it's not much, but we have one of the essentials. We can't live for more than 2 or 3 days without water, whereas on average, humans can survive around a month without eating. What? If he doesn't tax his reserves. What? Humans can survive around a month without eating? If he doesn't tax his reserves? What? Okay. So, we have less than 2 or 3 days left after finishing the bottle before dying of dehydration. Yay! I have another concern. If the taps aren't working, there must be a hole in the water main's inlet, which means a leak. In the situation of a terrorist bomb, it could be due to the damaging of an electrical circuit that leads to another explosion. What annoys me is that we don't know exactly where the leak is. We could get flooded at any moment. And if an electric cable had been damaged, that would electrocute us as well. By staying, we might be signing our own death warrant. But we have no way of knowing that. So I have no clue about our survival chance. The future looks quite grim for us. But I don't want to die here. Dave looked pale all of a sudden. He looked terrified. He was shaking like a leaf. He rushed to the sealed exit and pounded on the debris. I knew he was going to scream. It's useless, you know. You'll only exhaust yourself. The rescue team won't hear you from the above, since we're underground. I'm sure they'll come with sensors anyway, so they'll know where we are. For now, let's save our energy, okay? We'll scream only when we hear the voices calling out for us. Do you think we can escape on our own? Well, I don't know if that's humanly possible to clear out the collapse zone. And I can definitely say we can't climb out either. So no, let's say we can't do much. Let's wait for the rescue team. Who knows, they might already be on their way. I just think it'll be safer to set up as far as possible from the ruins. We don't want them falling on our heads. Anyway, let's cooperate. If we want to get out of here alive, our best chance is to help one another and stick together. I may not be in an army anymore, but I promise that I'll put your protection as my top priority. As far as I finished talking, I saw all of them pull a face. I knew they were a bit demotivated, but the truth is always better than a pretty lie. Even so, I had to reassure them a little. The music did change. It was even more upbeat, and now it's silent. I think that's like the music of her determination, I guess. I'm sure the rescue team will be here soon. We only have to wait. The most important thing right now is to maintain harmony inside our group. We can't let fear or sadness get the better of us. Let's try to pass time as pleasantly as we can. Everyone nodded silently. I thought that they were agreeing, but didn't necessarily know how to strike up a conversation. I had to set an example. You don't really have to, but you are the most knowledgeable person of this situation, so I guess we do. So this is... I can't save this, but I feel like we're gonna eventually get through all of these anyway. If we're gonna plan all the steps, I guess, to start an open communication chain. I'm gonna ask Aline if she's okay. We'll start with, before we start sharing the water. Thanks again for helping me back there, Aline. I might have died. I told you that there was no need to thank me. Jeez. Well, I mean, I literally could have died, and you literally saved my life, so I feel like I need to thank you. I hope you understand. That won't prevent me from caring about you. Come to think of it, you must have exhausted yourself by carrying me, and there is so much dust in the air. Will you be okay? I don't want you to get sick. You're underestimating me, young lady. I'm not made of glass at all. I am sure it will take the wind out of your sails, but I'm actually used to going to demonstrations as a volunteer. I've already had to demonstrate in less than clement weather. I walked under the scorching sun, in the freezing cold, a torrential rain. So this? It's nothing to me. The only thing I need is a lively atmosphere. During those demonstrations, all the volunteers were always laughing together, joking. It cheered me up and made me want to do my best. Well, you're awesome, Eileen. What did you think, eh? Grandma's kicking ass, she says. Yeah, she is so cool. In the association I'm in, I'm the oldest, so I try to take care of the youngsters. I love them very much, and I'm proud to be fighting with them. I do the boring and time-consuming tasks, like making the posters or flyers that the others deliver. And I cook, too. I knew that some elderly people like to join associations, but I'd never met one who'd attend demonstrations. I think everyone would like to be as dynamic as you are at your age. What's your motivation? Why are you in this association? Well, I want to leave a better world for the next generation. I think a lot of people my age were a bit selfish and didn't realize what they were doing. I don't want to be like that. Plus, it's making me feel younger. And I have found a new family. And what type of association is this? Well, it's about LGBT rights. You know, fighting for homosexuals' rights. Trying to empathize the importance of diversity, gender studies, feminist stuff, those things. Feminism? But feminists hate men, right? Sure thing, sweetie. Hold on a second. I'm checking my imaginary bingo card. Everyone looked at each other in the eyes, jaded. It was crystal clear that Dave was the kind of person who tended to be rather tactless. There was a long pause in the conversation. Nobody wanted to talk anymore, and even Dave felt that there was something awkward in the air and avoided going on. The thick silence went on for a while. Nobody knew how to start the conversation again. Just because he said feminists hate men, isn't that like it's like a common belief that some people have. And then there are extreme feminists who actually do hate men, so I don't think that's a bad thing to be misconceptualize, or whatever the word is. The thick silence went on for a while, nobody knowing how to start the yes. After what felt like an eternity, a stomach growled, and it was Hassan's. Come to think of it, I'm starting to get a bit hungry too. Now could be a good time to have a meal. A meal? We have food? A meal of air? Delicious, but not very nourishing. I have 6 biscuits conveniently on me. Alicia pulling in with the clutch. Let's share them along with the water. I'd advise you to cut them in half, so that we can have another meal later. We don't have much to eat, so let's impose rationing. So went our humble meal. Each of us got half a biscuit and a portion of water. Not enough to soothe my appetite, sadly. But that's what you have. Well, since the rescue team isn't here yet, I guess we'll be sleeping in this charming place. Too bad we don't have some kind of blanket. Bah, sleeping directly on the floor is not suited for my age. If only I had known, I would have taken my coat. Would somebody be kind enough to help me when the moment comes? I don't want to sleep in my wheelchair. It's not comfy enough for that. No problem. Sleeping on the floor? Here? It's disgraceful. I don't want to. Dave, we're on this situation, and you're gonna have to if you want to sleep. There's the floor. You sleep on it. None of us like the idea either, you know. Dave is such a crybaby. If you want, I can sing you a lullaby. No, thanks. It wasn't time to sleep yet, so we had some free time to spend. We were joking about the fact that the rescue team would probably wake us up in the middle of the night. Hopeful jokes. Deep down, I was sure everyone wished that that would be the case. Soon enough, conversations died down. I couldn't stay on my own, doing nothing. I had to speak to someone, to help me forget. Well, we already did, Aline. No. So let's talk to these people, Alicia and Hassan. I decided to join Alicia and Hassan, who were sitting in a corner. I wanted to know more about them. The child was quietly playing with his mother's hair while lying in her lap. The scene was both weird and cute. As he was gazing at the hair, I noticed something on his arm, hidden by his t-shirt. It was some sort of bracelet. What's that? A bracelet? Alicia looked down in embarrassment. Yes, actually my phone number and address are on it. A safety measure for when he runs away. He tends to do it a lot. What do you mean? He sometimes runs off without saying anything? Yes. Hassan is actually very sensitive. Whenever there is a noise, too many people, or overly strong stimuli, he gets nervous, and when he can't handle it anymore, he runs away. He does it a lot with his school teacher. She can't stand treating him differently from the others, so she forces him to do stuff against his will. I tried to explain to her, but she wouldn't listen to me. She told me I was a bad mother for not teaching my child how to properly behave. Man, this teacher sucks. Screw that teacher. Let's get a whole other school for this kid. But she doesn't understand how Hassan is. He's not disobeying because he wants to annoy her. He does because she is asking too much of him. Last time there was a school trip. They went on an exposition in the middle of the city. They took the bus. The other children were laughing loudly. There was a lot of traffic. I knew it would happen. I tried to make her promise she would try to be careful with him. Bro, in this situation, I would want my kid to be able to experience these things, but I wouldn't let my kid go with that teacher. I wouldn't trust that teacher after that. After she's so blatantly disregard your concerns, why would you trust that teacher to take him on a field trip and actually, properly, I guess, manage the situation? This teacher sucks. I knew it would happen. I tried to make her promise she would try to be careful with him. It was all in vain. We searched for him for hours. So I gave him this bracelet, to be sure that if someone picked him up, they would know how to contact me. Poor Hassan. And yet he doesn't seem that difficult to live with. He's not when you know how he works. Most people won't spend the effort or try to understand it. At least you seem to be there for him. I wish I could be, but I'm not working too much for that. I have many part-time jobs to try to make ends meet. I barely see him, and that's why we have to take him to this school that doesn't... This is such a tough situation for you, and I'm so sorry that this is what you're going through. You know it's unfair. Many unemployed persons have too much time on their hands, but no money to do anything, so they pace up and down like caged lions. But on the other hand, rich people are way too busy to spend their money too often either. What? If only we could split up the work in two, it'd make much happier people. The jobless would have more work, and office workers would spend more time with their families. I guess I shouldn't dream, right? Don't say that. You may not have noticed yet, but I'm of the pessimistic kind. I've been through so many things in my life. I don't believe in anything anymore. The only thing I'm sure of is that nothing I'll do will ever matter. Underprivileged people don't have the luxury of choosing the life they want. I didn't know what to say and simply put a comforting hand on her shoulder. I wouldn't know what to say either. After the conversation, we decided it was time to rest. I have no comments, because I am equally as speechless. After a while, everyone went their own separate ways to find the least uncomfortable corners of the room and laid down on the ground. And there's something going on above me, and it doesn't sound pleasant. I glanced at them regularly, and saw many people turning around every which way in hopes of finding some sleep. I wasn't very optimistic. I knew that as soon as I closed my eyes, the screams would return, the sparks. I didn't want to see them again. I knew what would await. Another sleepless night, another in a long series. At least I wouldn't stand out of the crowd tomorrow morning. Nobody would know. So these sounds are not happening in real life. These are PTSD, auditory hallucinations, or sounds that are just stuck in your head and you can't get them out. Almost despite myself, I felt weariness filling me from the inside. I blinked slower and slower. On the other side, there was darkness and fire. I saw the sand again, those dunes. I felt the blazing sun, the heavy air, the smell of putrefaction? I don't know. My mind was uncontrollably attracted to this place. I tried to resist, but it was useless. I had been cursed with memory. I was in the middle of the desert, lost, powerless, as the scene passed before my eyes once again. No! I awoke from my dream with a start. It was the middle of the night, yet the scenery hadn't changed one bit. It was almost reassuring. Everyone else seemed to be sleeping. I envied their peaceful dreams. I wish I could be one of them. Slowly, carefully, I stood up and went to the bathroom. I had to relieve myself. This place is really depressing. I feel almost at home. Sigh. As I rose from the toilet, I suddenly felt another presence, even though I hadn't heard anyone enter after me. Then there was a strange sound. I approached the door handle suspiciously to see what the commotion was. But I couldn't get out of the stall. I was locked in. Alone in a narrow place, I felt my heart beating faster and faster. Claustrophobia, too. Or just fear of getting trapped. But you're already trapped. I hate this feeling. It was the same as back then, the same despair in the face of death. Please, no, not that. Let me out. I don't want to be in here. I was like a rat caught in a trap. Let me out, for the love of God. I hate narrow places. So is claustrophobia. I hammered on the door as forcefully as I could. It was no use. I had to get a way out. Quickly. My hands were shaking. If I didn't get out soon, I'd have a panic attack and everyone would notice. I couldn't let them see me in this pitiful state. I had to find a way. Okay. I tried hammering on the door again, but it wouldn't open. I tried kicking the lower part of the door, but it didn't budge. I tried unlocking the door. I tried kicking the lock with all my strength. The door went flying off the hinges, and a loud bang, wide open. At last I rushed towards the mirror. There was nothing behind this door. I took some time to breathe, gripping the sides of the washstand. I couldn't quite comprehend what had happened, why I had seemingly trapped myself. Nothing felt real. Am I imagining things again? I was scared. Scared of myself. Scared the others would see me. Scared of going back to that place. I didn't want to be buried under the corpses of my companions again, to see the distorted faces, to hear them cursing me again. I knew I overreacted. I knew I shouldn't have, but deep down, I couldn't prevent the insidious fear from eating me alive. I didn't want to relive these moments again, but the sensation of being trapped was ever so present in this place. Everything here could trigger a panic attack. Narrow places, the sensation of being trapped, unable to move, the heavy air, the ruins. I had been on edge for several hours and tried my best not to show it, to forget it. But now that I was alone, everything was coming back again. It had to stop. Oh right, I had almost forgotten. The doctor I saw earlier today had been checking how my new treatment was going. I wasn't used to it yet. He prescribed me an antidepressant. I had to take it every day starting with 50 grams, and then report to him that the dose was enough. It had been several days now since the beginning of my medical treatment. My memory was a mess. Had I even taken my daily dose yesterday? I searched for my pocket, pulled out my pack of pills and engulfed one without thinking before going back to my imaginary bed. And back into the war we go. And sure enough, I had a terrible night. The floor was cold and hard, so we practically broke our backs. The next morning, all our bodies were sore. But even if I were at home, I still wouldn't have felt safe. Sure, the mattress would have been more comfortable, but that would be it. Because I dreamt of that place again. I heard the rifles, the explosions, and immediately I woke up. Soon after, weariness invaded my mind, and I fell asleep, returning there again, waking up again. It was always the same. After several cycles, I didn't know if I was awake or just dreaming that I was awake. I didn't know if I was awake or just dreaming that I was awake. Everything felt the same, like a never-ending parade. Memories lined up, marching in my head, one after another. My sobs, my fear, my uneasiness. I couldn't escape them. That was why I didn't realize what happened later. A strange sound woke me up. When I opened my eyes, I noticed I was lying on the ground, and the light at the end of the hallway dazzled me. There was a persistent buzzing sound coming from my pocket, most likely my cell phone. Then I remembered that my cell phone couldn't be ringing, as it had ran out of battery a while ago. How could I be receiving a call now? What? I stared at the screen, dumbfounded. The name that had appeared was of someone I knew. But it couldn't be right. It couldn't be him. How was that possible? It's because you're in a dream, probably. He was a close friend that I liked very much, and he died months ago when he put his foot on a landmine. The person who was... He is coming back from the dead to give you a little bit of hope in this hopeless situation, probably. It couldn't be him. Surely, someone had borrowed his cell phone somehow. It had to be a mistake. I decided to pick up the phone nonetheless and brought it to my ears anxiously. Shh, you can't escape. You can't escape. Shh. Then there were only haunting, unearthly sounds that left the other end of the phone. Unusual sounds, like if someone had really called me from hell. Ooh. Ouch. Scared, I cringed and dropped the cell phone, which crashed to the floor. I couldn't help but let out a small cry. I heard someone grumble behind me. I must have woken one of the other trapped people. And of course it's Dave. Yo, what's up, Dave? Sorry, Dave, I had a nightmare, man. Dave turned around and walked away. I saw some of the others stretching out. They couldn't get back to sleep because of me. I went to a bathroom to relieve myself, certain that I wouldn't be able to sleep. When I came back, almost everyone was up. They all looked grumpy. It was no wonder after such a rough night, and I woke everyone up. And that's all my fault. That's what I'm thinking. Plus, it was obvious that our hope of being rescued during the night was shattered. What's the rescue team doing? They should have been here long ago. Who knows? Maybe we're not that important to them. Or maybe something else happened on the surface while we are down here. Another disaster somewhere that's keeping them busy. Well, there should be multiple rescue teams, I would think. I would love to be able to drink coffee right now. Too bad there's no dispenser near the bathroom. I'm sure it wouldn't have been working anyway. How unlucky for us. I'm sure some were even less lucky than us and were crushed by collapsing walls during the incident. Let's talk about something else. Yeah, I agree. I had to forget. Now was the perfect time to chat with someone to erase my latest sleepless night. I'm in the past time with... The only person we haven't talked to is Gabriel and Dave. So I'm going to go with Gabriel right now, because Dave seems sus. I don't know why. I went to Gabriel hoping he would help me pass the time. Or he's just an introvert, maybe. He said he was partying all night, though. I don't know if I believe him or not. I don't know if he was being sarcastic or not. It seemed like he was. I don't know. I went to Gabriel hoping he would help me pass the time. I guess we're all missing our homes, right? Dunno. I don't feel that welcome out there anyway. What do you mean? Well, how do I put it into words? Sometimes I feel like I'm only considered as the leftovers of a human being, a second thought, a nuisance. I have some friends and family, it's true, but do they really miss me? Maybe they're relieved I'm not there anymore. The great thing when you're physically disabled like myself is that there's no pretending. You put all your cards on the table. Well, stupid people will automatically avoid you, and only the most interesting ones will dare to approach you. Well, I can't imagine how deceitful being normal actually is. You think everyone you like cares about you. You really? But really? What guarantee do you have? Don't say that. You're not a nuisance. Then why does everyone I cross paths with makes me feel this way? I have so many stories, you wouldn't even believe it. Go on. It's not as if we were in a rush here. I got all the time in the world to listen to your stories. Aha. You don't have to tell me twice, then. I really need to get things off my chest. Well, I hate taking the bus. I always have to be on my guard to ensure that the driver doesn't forget me. Like when I need to ask him to open the door for me. If there are too many people on the bus, you can bet he's gonna forget I'm there. It's annoying. I hate going to class more than once. I got stuck in front of the steps because there was no other way to get to the classroom, and nobody bothered helping me. Wow, everybody around you sucks. Sometimes even the teacher passes me by. I feel stupid every time. Or when they don't want to change the classroom for an exam, even though my friends have explained that I can't reach the fucking place. I hate when I have to go to the supermarket and the sales assistant won't even look me in the eyes when I talk to him. It just replies to my personal carer instead. Like, I'm not even there. And most of all, I hate people who touch me like I'm some poor kid in need of affection. I swear, I'd behead them if I could. I'm not a teddy bear, damn it. I hate people who touch my hair or my cheeks just because I'm in a wheelchair, especially my neighbor, the one who is parking in my reserved spot all the time. I hate people. I wish they treat me like a fucking human being. Is that too much to ask? I wouldn't say it's too much. You deserve respect too. So yeah, is there really someone worried about me up there? I don't even know. Maybe they all pretended to care because they pitied me or something. I miss my computer more than anything right now. Let's talk about games then. It'll lift your spirits. You're right. There's nothing to be pissed out about right now. Maybe those people are worried about me after all. After a lively conversation, We decided it was time to join the others. Oh, well, yeah, let's talk about games. Man, the people in this universe, I don't know what to say to them other than to, I don't know, educate yourselves. After spending some time chatting, we gathered again. The atmosphere was gloomy, to say the least. I'm hungry. We're all hungry. I'm tired. We probably are all tired. How long will we have to stay here? And everybody wonders that. You should all follow Hassan's example. He's the only one who hasn't complained so far. We won't achieve anything by just grumbling. Hassan, you are epic. I guess you're finally in shape. You weren't that energetic this morning. Hey, I'm not perfect. And I did say Hassan was the only one not complaining. I included myself in your bunch. Let's take a last meal then. It may help a little. Our final meal. Like yesterday, each of us got a half a biscuit and a portion of water. And there went our last rations. Since Hassan had a separate bottle, he still had some left, but it was obvious that it wouldn't last long either. I'm still hungry. We're all still hungry. Of course you are. It's only half a biscuit after all. Alicia feels as annoyed as I do. I'm gotta talk to Dave next. I don't know. He might actually... It would be interesting if they did a big turnaround, like he's actually the terrorist or something. But we'll see. I know it's not the most comfortable situation, but if we don't expect that much effort, it should be okay. I can't wait for the rescue team to come. I've got so much work to do at home. How can you think of work first? Well, I had to work overtime these last days to finish on time. I can't let all that go to waste. Maybe he's just a struggling workaholic. I can handle hunger and fatigue, but the boredom will kill me first. I know, I have a deck of cards in my pocket. Let's play together. Good idea. And so, we sat down in a circle to play cards. I wasn't exactly fond of card games, but we went along with them in order to occupy my mind. Eileen declared that Hassan would be the referee, which made him roar with laughter. Don't get fooled, folks. You have a pro in front of you. I'm unbeatable. We'll see about that. I must say I'm quite skilled myself, and I'm pretty sure I could beat you. Oh yay, Dave's getting involved. He actually has a smile, so that's good. Yeah, right? Dream on, Sonny. It's been a while since I last played cards. I hope I'll be okay. Don't worry, the most important thing right now is to have fun. Right, Hassan? Yeah, Hassan knows. See, he thinks so too. Let's wait for the rescue team while doing something for a change. And so we played together for hours while laughing. It really was a convivial? It was a great moment, okay? It made me think of my former comrades. When we had to go to war, there was always a period of calm. Either the higher-ups were thinking of a plan, or the enemies hadn't made a move yet, because they didn't know how we'd react. It wasn't much, yet this moment made me feel a little happy inside. Warm memories were coming back. Not the screams, but the laughter. It had been so long since I felt this way, it was almost refreshing. Time flew by, and as she had predicted, Alina defeated us hands down. She really was something. Losing interest, we finally split up and went about our own business. Eileen was trying to take a nap in the corner, while Alicia, Gabriel, and Dave chatted in another. As for me, I decided to play with Hassan. So, you're using your small car again? Can I make vroom vroom too? He did not like that. I'm not doing the right thing, am I? Show me what you want me to do. Alright. I was trying to understand what Hassan was doing when I heard an explanation. I turned around. Alicia seemed upset. Oh no, what's wrong? It's gone. Gone. You lost something? Hassan's bottle of juice had disappeared. I put it in my purse. There's no way I dropped it. Someone must have taken it. I have suspicions? Alicia stood up with a furious look on her face and shouted, Who took Hassan's bottle? Tell me. It's not funny. You had all your portions already. Take the ration of a kid, really? Have you no shame? Who did it? I want an answer. Everyone stared at each other with confusion. Maybe it's a misunderstanding and the bottle slipped somewhere. I'll help you find it. Me too. I'm sure it's somewhere. Gabriel and I decided to go looking for Hassan's missing bottle. Maybe he dropped it here? All of us had gone to the bathroom at some point. Maybe. Look, Gabriel, below the washstand. Ah, you're right. Here it is. Oh, good. What's it doing there? I picked up the bottle and immediately realized it was empty. It pained me to say so, but Alicia's fear may have been justified. Someone had drunk Hassan's last portion of juice. And she is not gonna like this. I'm sorry, Alicia. We did find the bottle in the bathroom, but it's empty. I knew it. Someone must have been thirsty. Who drank it? Calm down. Maybe Hassan drank it and didn't tell you. He wouldn't do that. Oh, she is pissed. I would be too if someone took my kid's portion. I'd be ready to fight. Fight somebody. I agree with that. Hassan is always asking Alicia when he needs something. But why? Actually, I don't hear him complaining. Why can't he say that something is wrong himself, huh? Alicia went red as a tomato and exploded. You could see tears in her eyes. Why are we poking and prodding at this? She is already very angry. Because he's a child with autism, you jerk. Are you happy now? Happy? Just fucking leave us alone. Dave suddenly gasped, embarrassed. He clearly didn't expect this, and he did his best to maintain his composure. I bet it was Dave. I had my suspicions from the beginning. I didn't know. It's not my fault. Oh yeah? It's not your fault. That's too easy. You don't have to know he's disabled to treat him properly, do you? Since the beginning, you've been picking on him. Really? I haven't heard that. It's not his fault if he cannot make himself understood that easily. I bet you're the one who took his bottle, aren't you? You thought it was funny to steal something from a defenseless child, is that it? It wasn't me, I swear. Why would I do that? Why are you blaming me? It's just your overall person, I guess. Gabriel did say at some point he was thirsty. It could have been him, too. Are you saying I'm the culprit, that I drank from Hassan's bottle? No, I just said it could have been you. Wait, why are you so defensive, Alice? Are you the thief after all? Wait, if we start turning on each other, this is not going to end well. What? How would I have done that? You went to the bathroom earlier. You could have stolen it, then, without us noticing. Of course it's Dave accusing somebody else. We're all gonna turn against each other. Can you guys... I know what happened was very not good, but... Oh yeah? With my wheelchair making that noise? You think you wouldn't have heard me pass by Alicia's purse, huh? Not like I look very suspicious trying to bend down. You didn't think of that, though, did you? Well then it could have been Agatha, or Alina, or even Alicia herself. Alicia would never do that. Excuse me. This guy is about to get slapped. I hope he does too. I kinda want him to. Yeah, maybe you were thirsty too and you took your son's portion. You're the only one that could have touched your own purse without looking suspicious after all. Then why would I have yelled, huh? I could have stayed quiet and nobody would have known. That's very, very true. Well, Dave, come on, man. Just admit it. See, don't try to find excuses, I know it's you. But I swear I didn't do anything. The tension was palpable. I didn't know what to say, if anything. I felt powerless. Above all, I felt sad for Alicia and Hassan. Alicia was clearly infuriated. Dave had also gone too far by mocking the child all the time. He was? What a fucking asshole. We should kick him out of the group. It's time to seclude him somewhere else. You shouldn't make fun of... Okay, now I want to slap Dave. Hey Agatha, can we do the slappy slap? But he cringed at his mistake. He didn't like looking like the villain, even though he was one behind all of this. Eileen was quiet. I could see she was very sad, whereas Gabriel looked angry, as if almost on the verge of taking it out on someone, because he just got accused of doing something he probably didn't do. Hassan had rushed to a corner of the room after the dispute, and wouldn't move an inch from there. I could see him keeping his hands on his head, swinging his legs rhythmically. I guess it was his unique way of calming himself. I felt I understood his functioning a bit better now that I knew the right term. Hours passed by where nobody dared to let a word slip. Hours passed by with nobody daring to let slip a word. I couldn't bear the silence this heavy. I had to do something else. I become more agitated. I had to do something else, or I would become more agitated. Alicia had given Hassan something to soothe him, and she seemed a bit more composed than earlier. Maybe now was the right time to chat with somebody and try to ease the tension. I don't want to pass time with Dave, but he is the last one on my list. Alright, Dave. Let's see. I went to Dave. Are you alright? Do I look alright to you? I'm fed up with this place, and I'm fed up with being the villain. Well, you shouldn't have provoked Alicia when she was furious. And she was right. You did pick on Hassan several times. Yes, let's point out these straight facts. Don't talk like that. You sound just like my daughter. So you do have a child. I wonder if she's like you. She's an agitator, just like you. Always trying to get on my nerves. Aw, he's such a grumpy. He's such a big grumpy man. I take it you two don't get along very well. Huh? It's not that we don't get along, she just won't listen to anything I say. I wonder why. AKA Dave's way of saying that they don't get along very well. Why is that? What kind of bad things is she doing for you to consider her an agitator, your own daughter? Well, she has real talent and she's wasting it because she doesn't care about anything. She's so talented with law that she could be a magistrate and have a career. But no, she screwed up everything on a whim to travel around the world. How dare she live her own life when she doesn't do exactly what I want her to do? How dare you? Well, I told her not to do it, of course, but she wouldn't listen to me. I knew she just wanted to annoy me. No, she doesn't want to annoy you. She probably doesn't care about what you're saying anymore because you are so focused on this idea of what she could be instead of focusing on who she actually is as a person. Why would she annoy you on purpose? Because she's the rebellious kind, of course. Let's put it straight to that. I'm not convinced by your side of the story, but why not? And I'm supposed to act like her? You two, you two seem to enjoy getting on my nerves. You only talk to me to see me react. I only talk to you because you were the last person on my list, okay? Don't you? You just want to get me angry. You're already angry. You're angry all the time, it feels like. I don't need to do anything to get you angry. Whoa. Calm down. Stop playing the victim. I may have been impolite, yes, because I would try to be honest with you and help you get along with the others. I don't enjoy being mean, if this is what you're implying, but I certainly don't talk to you out of mischief. Now, if you can't stand talking to me, I'll leave you alone for now. The problem will certainly be solved. Wait, no, I want to talk to somebody. Okay. Then don't treat me like that. I'm not your enemy. We're on the same hell, remember? Sorry, I didn't want to. You're really one of a kind. Let's cool off for a while. We'll talk later, okay? Okay. After this conversation, we decided it was time to go to sleep. I couldn't help but feel that I had learned a lot about my new companions, that I was somehow getting closer to them, that I was becoming useful again. It was a pleasant sensation, but a very fleeting one. As soon as it was time to rest, I was left alone, and everything crumbled. No matter how hard I tried to forget during the day, the night was never as merciful. I couldn't go to sleep, to see those nagging nightmares again. War had left a deep injury on my heart, and nothing can ever stay as it was before that. That night I remembered what I had done. My unit had been sent to another country to bring civilization, they said. The political leader was a dictator, they said. He had powerful weapons, they said. We weren't supposed to free the civilians from the evil man, to help them. I had enlisted the army for one reason, to save people. I didn't save those people, I murdered them. There were no powerful weapons. We bombarded their silly cities, killing innocents, injuring children and elders alike. It wasn't to help them. It was so we could terrorize them. And we succeeded. They wouldn't dare approach us at first. Instead, they ran away each time they saw us. I didn't understand. I thought I was helping them, that they had nothing to fear. Then they began to rebel. They cursed us, they spat on us, and then I finally understood. I understood that we were destroying their homes, killing their beloved, burying all they ever loved. And I became disgusted at myself, disgusted at my superior, whom I had trusted. How would I ever be forgiven? Did I deserve to lead a normal life? The dead must be mad at me. I was sure they didn't want me to be happy. And they were right. I didn't deserve to live as a normal human being after what I had done. This, my mind knew all too well. My mind made me relive this nightmare for all eternity. It was my punishment, my atonement for my sin. Yet I couldn't live like this, the burden was too heavy to carry. I had to forget it in any way possible. I woke up in the middle of the night, unable to go back to sleep. I went to the bathroom to relieve myself. Are we gonna do this again? As I entered, lost in my thoughts, I noticed an unusual smell. Something like blood. Oh my god. And I looked in the mirror, I ended up stepping back immediately. There was a corpse inside the mirror, one of the soldiers. He was here to punish me, to be sure I had rot in hell just like him. You can't escape your fate. Panicked, I brought my hand to my mouth. I was breathing heavily. What do I do? Well, am I gonna punch this mirror? I don't want to do that. That's gonna break my hand. I shattered the reflection with my hand. Blood poured over my fresh wound. But I didn't feel a thing. The apprehension was gone. And that was all that mattered to me at this moment. I fell to my knees, frightened. I'm not seeing things again, am I? It had to stop. I thought of my medicine again. I hadn't taken it that day. Now was the right time. Worn out by hunger and the lack of sleep, I relieved myself and went to sleep right away. Once again, I had no rest that night, and unsurprisingly, I was scared of going to the bathroom again. Each time I had been there alone, I had been exposed to disturbing visions, visions of war. I knew that nothing I saw in these visions were real. That was just a dream. But it wasn't natural either. I was scared of myself, scared of these narrow confines. I wanted to escape so badly, turning over and over on the floor. I should have brought something for this. I didn't want to go to the bathroom alone, but I had to meet a natural need. I couldn't wait any longer. That's why the next morning, I entered the room with caution. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. I sighed with relief. As I was exiting the WC, something colorful drew my attention near the mirror. Was that blood on the washstand? Yeah, that's your own blood, probably. Probably because I injured myself yesterday night. I shrugged, trying to reassure myself when a flood of blood came out of the tap. The liquid was flowing at an incredible speed, making the washstand overflow with bright red. It squirted on me, and soon enough I had blood all over my body, yet the flood didn't stop. I thought I was crazy. I couldn't compute what was going on. All that I could see was a huge pool of blood. Something inside of me suddenly broke. I screamed with all my strength. Enough! Enough! I had enough! I wasn't in control of my body anymore. I was crying my eyes out, shouting, knocking over everything that was in my way. I felt as if I wasn't inside my body anymore. I had become a specter and was watching a puppet dance. I can't do this anymore. As I shook over and over, my field of vision became blurred, and I collapsed from exhaustion on the floor. Everything went black. When I finally resurfaced, I was in the same corridor as usual. Everyone was looking at me with serious expressions. I immediately understood. They had seen me. They knew. It was no use. I couldn't hide this pitiful state of mine anymore. Are you okay, Agatha? Yeah, thanks. I guess you saw me. You all saw me. They nodded in silence. I felt incredibly ashamed. You were screaming so loudly we all rushed into the bathroom to see what had happened. You had some kind of a panic attack and injured yourself. You were lying on the floor, stiff. We thought you were dead. We carried you here. Even he seems nervous, sad. I don't know. It's interesting. We carried you here because we didn't want you to catch a cold. Do you want to talk about it? Well, now that you've seen everything, I can't pretend anymore, can I? I have post-traumatic stress disorder. Ever since I came back from war. Every time I see or hear something, it reminds me of all the people who died around me. It makes me nervous, and I end up having a panic attack. I also have nightmares every night, living the same horror again and again, so I barely sleep anymore. That's all. This place makes me feel unsafe, and I have trouble controlling my anxiety, so I finally broke down. At that moment, I couldn't manage to look them in the eyes. Well, you could have told us sooner. Perhaps we could have helped you feel better. We'll let you rest, okay? But there's something else we have to know. Something else? Since we had to carry you, it fell down. I suddenly realized what they were talking about. Uncontrollable tears fall on the ground. Why do you have a gun on you? The words hurt. They hurt so badly I couldn't hide anything anymore. It was too much to handle. After the war, I mean. I came back, but felt empty and depressed. I couldn't sleep anymore. I couldn't escape the memories. I couldn't forget about myself either. I had killed. I wanted the pain to stop. So I bought the gun. illegally. You were going to put an end to my suffering. I was supposed to do it the day of the incident. I wanted to take one last stroll before pulling the trigger. How could I have known that there would be a terrorist attack and that I'd be trapped here with you? I didn't say anything. I thought it'd be better that way. They all sighed in unison. I couldn't begin to imagine what they were thinking. So the terrorist attack saved your life, essentially. You should rest a bit, okay? We'll be here if you need something. We're keeping the gun. Wait. Oh, please, don't leave me alone. Yeah, of course you keep the gun. But they didn't listen. They split up, leaving me behind. I felt so dirty, so ashamed. I had a terrible headache. Everything was screwed up. I looked at my pills while crying. Was this treatment even working? I didn't feel any better. It didn't erase the memories either. I sat silently for a while. I tried to remember how I got myself here and what went wrong. The incident was only the day before yesterday, yet it felt like it took place ages ago, in another universe. Reflecting on the situation, I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. I think I'll always remember that day, even if I have lived through more perilous situations. This one held a special place in my heart. I remember everything so vividly because it was a human experience, an unconventional one at that, just like war actually. Maybe it left a mark on me precisely because it reminded me of the war, of the pain, of the hopelessness, but also because it made me feel useful again. I thought I could help people, that I could be a functional human being again. But that may have been foolish of me. One can never return from hell, after all. Never. Even so, I remember that day as a moment of hope. I tried to cling to that, convincing myself it was my last chance. Was it all in vain? At that moment, I opened my eyes. I didn't want to be alone anymore. Even if they didn't want to talk to me anymore, even if their words would be harmful, I wanted to talk to somebody. I glanced around. I think I should talk to Aline. I went to Aline. I'm sorry. It's okay. We all have our crosses to bear. I'm just disappointed you didn't talk about it earlier. Sorry. It's okay. You didn't want us to know your weakness, is that it? Yes. But every human being has painful memories. So you shouldn't be ashamed. I have lots of them too. I know everyone has them, and in order to be even, I'll tell you about mine if you want. My parents forced me into a marriage when I was your age, and I actually tried to run away from my lover, with my lover. You had a lover? Yes. A young girl I met by chance. I admired her. She was a little older, and we fell madly in love. I wanted to hide my relationship, but my parents discovered the truth and confined me. She helped me escape, and we went on a road trip, just the two of us. She had a car, and we drove around, following our instincts, wandering while on the road. We traveled from place to place. I saw many landscapes, met many people. Those weeks were the best of my life. Sadly, it had to end. Someone denounced us, and my parents caught us again. We desperately tried to run away, but there was no use. In the end, we veered off a nearby bridge, and the car fell down into the water. I managed to get out, but when I emerged, I was seized by my family. They locked me away, and I never saw my lover again. I tried to find out what happened to her, but I never found out if she was dead or alive. For years, my deepest wish was to be able to see her again, and it never happened. That's why when my husband died and I won my freedom, I swore nothing like that would ever happen to someone else, so I joined an association. That's quite brave of you. No, it's not much. It is a lot. That is a lot. Don't say that's not that much. That is a lot. Anyway, what I meant is that you can find a new meaning into your life. Think about it. I'll try. Thanks. I went back to my corner, lost in my thoughts. I guess since I already know about my trauma, because she has been talking about the whole time, I don't have to tell her about it. But I thought we were going to tell her about it. We were going to trade. But I guess not. That day we were all restless. The different incidents had spoiled our morale. We'd had enough. The situation was insufferable. The rescue team was too slow, and we were slowly losing hope. Hours passed and still no sign of the rescue team. It was maddening. Since I had stayed still for a while, I started to have pins and needles in my legs. I wonder when we're gonna get rescued, though. When I went to the bathroom to stretch a bit, I suddenly felt the anxiety come back. I hated that place. As soon as I saw the mirror, the explosions came back in my head. I was at my limit. I couldn't wait any longer trapped underground. I had to see the sky, to breathe fresh air. At that moment, I had another panic attack. Why did you go back to the place that haunted you so badly? When I opened my eyes, I was in the hallway. Actually, it looked like a distorted version of the hallway. Blood was pouring from the walls and the ceiling. I could even hear the familiar sound again. There were corpses all over the room. Corpses. No, it's not possible. Don't tell me. I slowly approached the rigid bodies. They had terrible faces, convulsed in pain and fear. Was it even real, or just another delusion? I couldn't tell anymore. No. My companions were dead. I had only spent a few days among them, and I already felt a strong bond between us. I thought I could save them, that I could help them. I could be useful again. Was that all in vain? Somebody must have used the gun, those bastards. Feverishly, I looked around. I picked up the gun that was on the ground and wandered around in this new battlefield. I was on edge, expecting to see anything, even my own shadow. Suddenly, I felt a presence behind me. Frightened, I turned back. It was a living corpse, a soldier. He was cursing me for being alive. No, it was me, a twisted reflection of me. A woman who had a horrifying grin on her lips, as if she was enjoying it. She was wrapped in darkness, covered in blood and flesh, laughing a bit in a fit of madness. I was the one who had done it. I was the one who had killed them. It had to stop. The chaos had to stop. I didn't want anyone to die anymore. I didn't want to see blood and hatred anymore. The monster slowly came near me. I didn't have time to think. No. No. I couldn't do it. I couldn't shoot. I had to accept the monster as part of myself, as something that never completely disappear. I had to stop running away. The past was painful. The words still haunted me, but I had to go forward and find out why I was still alive. The people who died needed to be remembered. Maybe if I gave them a place in my heart, maybe they'll be appeased. The road would be long, steep, and disheartened. But maybe, just maybe, there was something behind the hill, something beautiful. As I dropped the gun on the floor, unable to shoot, I heard a drilling sound. I paused, confused. The ghost vanished. I felt unstable. My legs were shivering. I had no strength left. Suddenly, there's a loud sound, and the walls exploded. Something was coming? God? Was I going to die? Behind the walls, another world was standing. A mysterious world. Everything became pure white. The light dazzled me. I felt too tired and fainted. We got pulled out. We got pulled out! I slowly opened my eyes. It was too bright. I waited to get used to the light. When I was finally able to see, I realized I was in the shopping center's main alley. There were firemen all around me, moving like busy bees. It felt unreal. We had been saved. Someone had rescued us after all. While looking around me, I saw my companions sitting on stretchers. Doctors were asking questions, examining them. I took a deep breath. I felt a small breeze on my hair. The shopping center had been destroyed, but we were alive. And at that moment, it was all that mattered. We were going to be okay. For the first time in hours, years even, I enjoyed a strange kind of serenity. It was feeling incredible, and I was feeling incredibly as well. I don't really remember what happened after that. Our rescue was so surreal I couldn't think properly. The malnutrition and the lack of sleep didn't help. I only remember what the doctors told me, that there was a terrorist attack, and they set up bombs, and the building collapsed due to the impact on the foundations. I also learned many died trapped in the mall. Under the ruins, many have escaped without a scratch, too. Of course, but some had died. I was shocked by those words. After all, I had intended to take my life that day, and yet I managed to survive while others had died. I was flustered. Maybe this was a sign. Maybe somehow, somewhere, someone was trying to tell me something. That I shouldn't give up yet. I then realized words are just like weapons. They can be used to hurt. They can leave lasting scars, invisible wounds. For years I had suffered because I only heard cruel words. What people thought of me because of my past. Post-traumatic stress disorder. Same difference. The ones who should have helped me left me to my sorrow, with a mere shrug of annoyance, their words preventing my heart from healing. Using words as a defensive or offensive tool is so common that you could almost say they were conventional weapons in the hands of every human being. Anyone could hurt you without realizing it, without noticing what he's behind, the memories hidden by the meaning. But words could be used as a powerful weapon to make life better too. Words can light up in the way of the darkest hours. Words can bind people together and allow them to rediscover hope. Kind words can break the cycle of daily unnoticed emotional abuse. That was what the incident taught me and had touched me. I had met various people who had their own personal stories and suffered from the same prejudiced words. Because we were different, many people had a tinted view of what we should be, and didn't see us as we really were. It was all so painful. But this is the reason why we should use kind words to break that cycle of bias and struggles. To be able to live freely. All of us. That's what I would hope to do from now on. That's how life is. The road is long, but I'll find my way. I'm sure of it. And I got a normal end? Well, that's good. I bet if I would have shot, that would have been the bad end. I wonder what the good end is. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Just like in the hallway, there's debris here too. This part of the wall had fallen apart. Some of the toilets have been destroyed, but we still have 2 or 3 left. That's good news, since we'll need to use the bathroom at some point. The taps aren't working. There might be a leak somewhere. We'll have to be careful. Yes, the mirrors are intact. I don't want to look at myself right now. Thanks again for sharing your water, Alicia. You're saving us. Don't mention it. I'm sure anyone would have done the same in this situation. You'd be surprised. Anyway, let's talk about something less gloomy, shall we? Like, I don't know... Oh, what are your hobbies? I don't really have any hobbies. How is that possible? What do you do in your pastime, then? I don't have free time anymore, so I don't relax either. I usually collapse on the sofa when I come home and watch TV for an hour before falling asleep, that's all. Rough lifestyle, huh? But you can count watching TV as a hobby, right? I don't know. My mind is so blank after work, and watching a screen helps me rest a bit. I try to watch documentaries as often as I can. I don't really like reality TV that much. I admit, I'm ashamed of myself. I used to love reading, and now I don't have the mental strength to touch a book anymore. I'm sorry, I can't really chat about pleasant stuff to lift everyone's spirits. Don't blame yourself, it's not your fault. And you're certainly not the only one who can't afford the luxury of time. Though, I'm not a good example given how old I am. But you're young in your head, right? Absolutely. You and I are going to get along well. Oh. If I can do anything to lift your spirits, just tell me, Alicia. Thanks. You're too kind. But if you're so busy with work, who's taking care of your son? You do maintain your role as a mother, don't you? Dave. Dave. Why are you like this? Why are you the way you are? Everyone looked at each other jaded. I decided to chat a bit with Alina and Gabriel. Alina was so bubbly, and it was always pleasant to see her. Gabriel was a bit of a cynic, but I liked his snarky comments. When I found them at the other side of the corridor, they were in the middle of a heated debate. It sure is lively here. What are you two talking about? Well, it turns out this young lad and I both have the same hobby. Really? What is it? Video games. We're playing the same MMORPG. Ah, heck yeah. The grandmother likes video games too. And that's pretty cool. I'm not fond of those, but I can see the appeal. When you're an old lady like me, you have to pass the time. Any MMORPGs are the most time-consuming activity I've ever seen. Once you've started, it's hard to stop. I don't want to count how many hours I've played. Hundreds of hours for me, at least. I like to do the high school level content. You must be in a guild then. Yes, a small one. I tried dozens of guilds and always ended up being disgusted. As soon as I used my mic, some player would hurt or to laugh and mock me. I've heard that it's a current issue in online games. I can't stand that. Their guilds were full of anyway. I don't regret leaving them to their prejudice. My current one is so much better. It's friendly, and everyone helps each other. I wish I could find a nice guild too. I play solo because being with other people is a nightmare. Well, you can't really play solo in an MMO, can you? True. I should have chosen another genre. Say, Adeline, no. You wouldn't recruit me by any chances. I want to do the high-level content too. But it's too difficult to do with temporary teams. My, how demanding. Well, I'll see what the one in charge thinks. Maybe he'll agree, yeah? Let's share contacts. Yeah, you're awesome. She is. In the end, the situation does have a silver lining. We still have to get out. Oh, that's the minor detail. After a lively conversation, we decided it was time to rest. I'll just do... I'm gonna do this one. I haven't done this one. I tried to turn the door handle again, but it was firmly locked and wouldn't budge. Okay. I'm gonna comment on this. It would be interesting if during that moment, like, there was like some sort of time where if you didn't like click on things, the right thing correctly, like it could increase her panic in a way. It could change the story altogether. Depending on how hard she breaks the door. I mean, she's in the army. I'm pretty sure she could knock it right off its hinges if she wanted to. But, okay. I'm gonna pass time with Hassan today. I went to Hassan hoping he would help me pass the time. Hey there, what are you doing? Hassan didn't really reply. He was staring at a small notebook placed on the floor while holding a pen. Maybe he was too focused to hear me. Oh, you're drawing. Can I join you? Yeah, maybe this will be good for your mental health too. Still not looking at me, he nodded silently, so I decided to keep him company. Hassan was a strange companion. He's a kid with autism. Don't call him strange. But he was nice, and he had the prettiest smile I've ever seen. His drawings were really abstract, even for a kid, and I had trouble guessing what he was trying to do. Occasionally, I'd ask him questions, and he would direct me in his own way. Is it an animal? Hassan shook his head vigorously, which meant I was wrong. Is that a house, then? Hassan shook his head again. So far, I hadn't gone very far, so I asked for backup. Say, Alicia, would you happen to know what Hassan is drawing? I can't figure it out. I love the eye movements, too. The characters have some good expressions put into them. Well, let's see. I knew it. He's not drawing. What? He's making a calendar. A calendar? No wonder I couldn't guess the shape. Oh. Hassan loves to make calendars, plans, and rankings. He doesn't really draw. That's unusual for a kid. But it's funny. It's funny? At least he looks like he's having fun. Yeah, whatever makes him happy. Hassan seemed to put the final touch on his masterpiece, then contemplated his work with a satisfied smile. Suddenly, he dropped his notebook and gesticulated. Do you want your snow globe? Hassan nodded as Alicia rummaged in her purse. She pulled out a snow globe and gave it to her son, who was clapping his hands. Oh, this mother knows. She is so good. She has everything ready for him. She knows her son. That's so precious. As soon as he got the globe, Hassan didn't make his signature sounds anymore. He seemed focused on making the snow fall over and over again. It's his lucky charm. He can't be separate from it. Making the snow fall soothes him, in a way. It's a gift I bought for him long ago. He looks so relaxed now. Maybe I should try too. The snow globe seems magical. Maybe. After that, we left him alone and decided it was time to join the others. Oh. Then, I already passed time with Dave in this one. I'm going to join Aline before, and then I'm going to go to Dave for the final one. I went to Aline. Are you alright? I don't know, really. I feel guilty. Guilty? She looked down, sinking her voice to a whisper. Oh no! Eileen! And we thought it was Dave the whole time. I discovered something, and I don't know if I like it. I'm the one who took Hassan's bottle. I had asked him if it was okay with sharing a bit with me, and he nodded, so I thought he had accepted. There was so little juice left, I couldn't help but finish it. I was so ashamed, I didn't want to tell him, so I got rid of the bottle. I didn't know how to break the news, and since everyone was furious, I felt even more uneasy. In the end, I stayed silent and didn't dare to confess. So now I feel guilty. I'm sorry. I can't say what you did was right, but I understand how you feel. Let's forget about this, okay? I won't tell the others. I feel like we should tell Alicia, though. Well, when you don't have anything to do, all your mistakes come back to you at full force. You can't escape it, don't you think? Yeah, it's true. One cannot forget the past so easily. See, it nags you. If I stay that way, I'll remember even more unpleasant things, even more hurtful words. Maybe it'd be better to talk about it. It might help you feel better. Oh, it won't change much. I'm old. I can't exactly start a new life, can I? You're still living, though, so yeah, you can. Would you like to start a new life? Absolutely. If I could, I want to be reborn around this time period so that I'd have a second chance. How so? You see, I had to marry young, because I was born in a very conservative family. I even had to marry a man I didn't love. I couldn't stand him. Yet, I had to live by his side for years. I had to let him me in order to make children, but as soon as I delivered, I made sure he would never touch me again. I had to obey him, to raise my children as he wanted. I didn't have the right to live on my own. I was his window dressing. I was so happy when I found out he had died before me. I swore I would live my few remaining years as I wanted. I couldn't help but feel free. My children found my behavior indecent and looked at me with disgust, but I couldn't care less. I let them have his inheritance, all the valuables, and just took enough for me to live peacefully on my own. I think I've lived these last years to my fullest. My only regret is that this time was so short. I can't help but be envious of youngsters like you. It's unfair that I only had these few years when everyone is supposed to live freely nowadays. And I can't erase those long, long years of unhappiness, even if I wanted to. Well, see, you did make a new life for yourself. And you can do it again if you wanted to, I think. It's a sad story. Times were a bit different back then. But we each have our own cross to bear. I don't pretend I'm the most miserable being ever. I really hope we'll be able to get out of here. There are so many things I want to do before dying. I hope so. Let's believe. After this conversation, we decided it was time to go to sleep. Wow, I can't believe we caught her, but I think it's a very tough situation to be in, and we're all stressed out, and I still think we should have told Alicia, though. It would have eased her mind, I think. Alright, here we go. Let's go straight to Dave. I went to Dave. Sorry for earlier. I didn't want to make a spectacle of myself like that. I was just desperate. I didn't picture you as a depressive type. I thought you were more upbeat, like my daughter. Sorry to disappoint. I wonder where I was wrong exactly. Was I mistaken to think that you were like her? Or was I mistaken to think I knew my daughter? What do you mean? You were right earlier. We don't get along very well. I always thought she was annoying me on purpose. That she was the playful type. But maybe, just maybe, I'm the one who doesn't understand who she really is. You see, she doesn't want to talk to me anymore. She only visits when I'm not around. She gets along with my wife, but not me. I don't understand. I love my daughter very much. I always did what was best for her. Why does she refuse to see me? You said you were wasting her talent. You said she was wasting her talent because she quit at the magistracy school, right? Did she choose that path herself? Did she want to be a magistrate? Well, it's not about choosing or not. She had potential. I advised her to study law to take advantage of her talent. Everything was alright. She had good grades and was promised a nice career. Have you ever considered that she doesn't like law? That she might have obeyed only to please you? But she was talented. Being talented at something doesn't mean you like it. I think she wanted to do something else, but didn't dare tell you because she knew you wouldn't approve. And one day, she must have been fed up and just quit. She had enough. It would have been your job to support her decision. But it's foolish. It's difficult to find a nice job nowadays. This one would have been perfect for her, not being an artist or something. Do you really know what's good for her? If she wants to be an artist, it's her choice. You can't. I never forced her. Are you sure? Did you ever make snarky comments in her presence? Did you ever blame her? Did you show her your discontentment? I did several times, but then I bet she felt awkward around you because couldn't help her. You couldn't help but show her how disappointed you were. Do you realize how violent that is? To show your child you're unsatisfied with what they truly are. To show your child you'd only like them if they act as you want to. If she decided to stop her magistry school, it was most likely because she was unhappy with her life. And when she finally courageously took her life into her own hands, you were there telling her that she should be someone else just to please you. I never thought of it that way. Why didn't she tell me earlier then? Because she can't talk to you. It's hard to talk to somebody who's so narrow-minded, I guess, and stubborn. Because you wouldn't listen. If she doesn't want to see you again, it must be because she can't stand how being with you makes her feel. Deep down, I'm sure the only thing she wants is for you to be proud of her. Do you think so? Up until now, I thought everything she's done, running away around the world, dating a musician, becoming an artist, was to get on my nerves. But she was just trying to tell me that she had found her way, and that she wanted my blessing? I'm sure of it, Dave. Why else would she avoid you? I don't know. I had been thinking a lot since before the incident, that's why I got trapped. My own daughter had forbidden me from seeing her, in a crucial moment at that. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't understand the reason. Do I make her that uncomfortable? I don't want her to hate me. I just want what's best for her, that's all. She is an adult. She can stand on her own 2 feet now. Are you implying I'm overprotective? Overprotective, and tactless. You need to understand that your experience isn't a rule everyone else has to follow. Your daughter has her own experiences, and I'm sure she only wants you to respect that. If you won't, she'd rather not see you. Is it too late to fix the situation? Not if you tell her you're truly sorry, but you'll have to make more of an effort from now on. I will. If I get out of here, I'll rush to the hospital. I want to be by her side after the delivery. I want to show her I'm proud of her, even if I didn't show it to her enough. I'll be cheering you on then. Thanks. I went back to my corner, lost in my thoughts. We did so well in this run, we might get a good end, and I might not shoot. And then I want to go back and shoot. And then I can let the credits play at least, too. A normal end! Ah! And I thought I did everything right. Okay. Let's let the credits play. And then I'm gonna go back and get the bad end, because we're definitely gonna shoot somebody in that room, most likely. Even ourselves. It could be us. This is such a good game. Though I kind of wish they made use of the point and click adventure type style stuff a bit more. Though most of it was conversation, but I'm glad they added that. So it's really unique to see in visual novels. I kind of wish you could see the characters standing around the room, and you can point and click to any of them. That's interesting. Was she there before? Is it possible to get all these characters? That's interesting. I'm interested in reading this. I said I wouldn't read anything, but I decided to go to Dave, who had been on his own up until now. I felt he would like some company. After all, he was a part of the group too. Well, what are you doing? Not much. Say, are you all avoiding me? I would be doing a very poor job at it considering I'm right next to you. Maybe not you, but I feel like the others are avoiding me. Is it something I said? Well, I'll be honest with you, you were a bit rude earlier. I think they just feel awkward now because they don't know what you will say to them. I don't get what I did wrong. They're so touchy. It may sound weird to you, but everyone lives different experiences. If you don't try to be careful, you'll definitely strike a nerve without noticing it. Like if you make a joke using dark humor to someone who had just lost a beloved one, they most likely won't take it well. It's the same here. You're casually talking about painful things some of them may have lived. But I couldn't have known. The problem here is that you shouldn't be so nonchalant in the first place. Their backgrounds aren't special cases you don't see often, but widely spread experiences. Good for you, if you don't have the same problems, but don't act like your life is the norm here. Everyone is different, so you have to take their experiences into account. And when you don't know what they've been through, just shut up. It's the safest thing to do. If that's the case, I can't say anything anymore, can I? You can, once you've known them better. Once you've understood them better, understanding is the key here. It's so complicated. Why don't we talk normally? What is normally? You're describing... Agatha's describing a normal way to conversate. Dave has his own way of conversating. Some people just don't mix. Why is being considerate of others not considered not normal? But I am considerate. Not considerate enough. Listen, you asked me a question, I only told you what I thought. Don't get mad at me for saying out loud what everyone else is probably thinking. It's nothing against you, I just don't understand. It's fine. Nobody expects you to understand on your first attempt. Just show some good faith by being more considerate. I still don't get why they're so touchy, but I'll try. That'll be great, a great start already, then. I went to Alicia hoping she would help me pass the time. I guess we're all missing our homes, right? I don't know why, but this game really resonates with things I've been going through lately, so I feel like drawn to it more. And I'm going through things too, and it's good to like get a feeling of them, understanding their experiences and such. It's actually a very refreshing game with a lot of work put into it, and I really like this game. I can really say. And there's a lot of lessons in here. A lot of life lessons, and it's all packed up into this wonderfully crafted game. What else can I say? I guess we're all missing our homes, right? I don't know. Actually, I never had much free time. Not for years. Now I'm pretty relaxed for once. No work to do, no chores, no angry people yelling at me. I didn't sleep that bad considering the situation. I feel almost guilty. Don't be. It's a good sign if you're okay. And well, at least someone is happy. I wish someone had brought a book. Anyone. I want to read so badly. I may not look like it, but I actually went to college. I'm the studious and hardworking type. I was on my way to get a master's degree when I stopped. I like to learn things, in all subjects. I wish I had a book to lend. It's okay. You couldn't have known you were going to meet me, right? Besides, I can always try to remember some of my lessons just in my head. What are the lessons? Tell me. Why did you have to stop? I'm curious. But you don't have to answer if you don't want to. Well, I just got pregnant. That's all. She glanced at Hassan and sighed. I realized right away I had made her remember something painful. Do you know about social determinism? It's a theory that says your situation at birth decides everything about your life. If your parents were underprivileged, they won't be able to offer you the same education, the same chances as others, and you'll likely end up underprivileged too. If your parents are in a comfortable situation, you'll be more likely to come across more opportunities and have a comfortable situation too. It can be simple, yet insidious. Like not being able to afford a competitive exam, the fees of studying in a big city, or even a suit you'll have to wear to look professional enough. Well, I wanted to show the world I could rise above and get a comfortable situation, through a lot of work, despite my humble origins. But life reminded me that it doesn't work that way. I was naive back then. I should have known better. Why are you telling me this? I don't know. Maybe I need to get some things off my chest. I feel like it's not a coincidence that the 6 of us got trapped here and will die here. Don't give up, Alicia. We're definitely gonna get out of here. I know because I played the game twice. Yeah, you're right. After this calm conversation, I want to go back to Alicia again. We went to Alicia after her son's juice got stolen. Let's see what she says. Are you alright? Yeah, I'm alright. Sorry for shouting earlier. It's okay, you had your reasons. I hope it doesn't get to you. This? Oh no, don't worry. I'm used to it all the time. I'd be more surprised if Dade had treated Hassan properly from the get-go. You know how people are. Actually, I'm thinking... About what? Everything. And nothing at the same time. In my daily life, I have to turn my brain off to be sure. I don't feel anything. To be sure, I'll be efficient and soulless. And now that we're stuck here, my brain turned on by itself, and I can't help but reflect on the world, life, philosophical stuff. And then I remember, I have to get out someday. We can't stay here forever, after all. And I feel sad about it. You don't want to go home? There's nothing waiting for me there. And what will I do? Go back to working again? Try to repay my debt? I'm fed up with working all the time. I turned my brain off to forget. I was unhappy and frustrated. Now it's coming back, and I won't be able to return to who I was before. I don't want to go home. I'm hungry, tired, angry, but I also feel less stressed. I can take my time for once. I can think whatever I want. I can remember how it was during my studies, instead of convincing myself it was for the best. I almost wish I would die here. No, your son needs you. Don't say something like that. But it's true. What future will I leave to Hassan? He has no future, not in this society. It's a jungle. You're the hunter, or the hunted. Don't say that about your son. He can rise. He could be the prodigy. He could bring you to the top. Do you think he is a hunter? No, he's not. So people will wipe the floor with him, even when he is certainly a better person than some. It's unfair. I want him to be happy, yet I feel it'd be better for him if he... Alicia! Alicia, that's so dark. If he died, you'd be... Poor Hassan. He wouldn't have to suffer. He wouldn't have to be discriminated against or anything. It's fucked up, right? I understand why you're thinking this way, but it isn't right. You tell her. I know I have to fight for him, to fight to get a better life, but I'm tired of fighting. Sometimes I wish I could rest, that I wouldn't have to worry about these things. Being underprivileged is exhausting. You have to work even harder just to get on the same level as others, and yet, it's never enough. You're not allowed a single moment of weakness. You can't rest your laurels. Ordinary people can't understand how it feels. The things we're fighting for are so baffling to them because they already have them, and they don't realize how much of a luxury it is. All I want is some rest. I wish I could rest too. I decided to find Hassan. Since I hadn't seen him all this morning, I was hoping that I would be able to forget my worries by playing with him. The others were sitting across the corridor, but there is no sign of Hassan. He had mysteriously vanished. I took a peek in the bathroom just in case. Hassan, are you here? Ah? A faint whisper managed to reach me. I looked down and caught sight of a body lying on the corner, and rushed towards it. Hassan! Hassan was lying on the ground, quiet as a grave. I immediately thought he was sick and examined him. His limbs were stiff, his eyes empty. I had no idea what to do, or even what was going on. Hassan, are you alright? Please tell me something. I know you can't talk, but give me a sign. Show me you're still conscious somehow. As I was about to lose hope, I heard a faint whisper again. As he took weak, shallow breaths, I felt a weak grip on my hand. His fingers definitely moved. So you can hear me. That's a good start. Can you move? Huh? I guess not. Otherwise, you wouldn't be lying on the ground like that. What to do? What to do? The more I thought, the more I came to the same conclusion. Hassan's sudden tenacity actually matched my own panic attack. It had to be his own way of dealing with the situation. It's true he was calm up until now, but it must have strained him, so he has no energy left. Hassan had actually been struggling from the beginning, just like me. He struggled silently, and none of us had noticed it. I felt terrible for only noticing now. I should have paid more attention to him. I should have done something. But what? It was too late now. Hassan was at his limit as well. If it really were some kind of panic attack, it shouldn't have lasted that long. But I had to help him. I couldn't leave him alone on the cold, harsh floor. It would have been too cruel. Plus, he was probably still struggling against himself, against his own body. Somewhere inside that heavy diving suit was a mind trying to resurface, to see the light. If I let Hassan be, he might stay this way for hours, before someone else discovered him. And that someone else won't be necessarily understand. What should I do? How should I help you? I know. You're down there, trying to come back, right? I'll guide you with my voice. Let me tell you a story. The story of a little girl who was lost in the dark forest. Goldilocks. Time flew by as I told Hassan the fairy tales I knew by heart. It was clumsy, but I genuinely hoped that it would help him in some way. After a while, I noticed he started to move slowly, but surely. I went on, inciting him as best as I could, and soon enough. Ah? Do you feel better? He nodded softly. I couldn't help but let out a cry of relief. I'm glad you're okay, I was so worried. Let's go back to the others. I led Hassan to Alicia and explained the situation to her. She looked at me with astonishment. Then I went back to my corner, lost in my thoughts. She just looked at you. With astonishment. She probably would have asked, why didn't you come tell me that my son was just like called out to me? Alicia, she doesn't get all the information she needs. She is left in the dark, and I don't appreciate that. That day, we were all restless. I'm gonna use the gun, guys. This is what we've all been waiting for. Leave me alone! I had to kill this monster. To avenge your deaths, I had to kill the past once and for all. In that instant, I was not really myself anymore. My perception of time had already been affected by those endless nights full of violent jolts, unexpected awakenings, and the constant noise of bullets. Those too long hours of my sanity. I had tried my best to maintain a happy facade in front of others, but I had no energy left now. The isolation, the delusions provoked by this remote underground place, the oppressive atmosphere. My tired mind could not feel the world correctly. My eyes only reflected hate and blood. Always hate and blood. Caught by the malevolence of the sand dunes, of the ruins from the past which appeared just in front of me, I could only tap into my remaining strength and set free all the fear, anger, and despair that was hidden inside me. I could only fight fire with fire and burn the past. That's why I shot once, twice, thrice even more. The ghost seemed to clumsily fall to the ground with eyes full of surprise. A satisfied smile enlightened my dried lips for a bit. Then there was a harrowing scream. Oh God, who was it? My face distorted itself. Oh wow, a new perspective. I struggled to understand all the information coming back to me. Bit by bit, I came to a realization. I recognized this voice. The name was just on the tip of my tongue. Just this close to come to my mind. This voice, it was... All of a sudden, my mind was clear, and chaos erupted in my mind. It couldn't be. It was too cruel. It was Hassan, wasn't it? The walls around me seemed to fall, to become distorted, while the surrounding noises were melting themselves together to create a big cacophony, which was hurting my ears. My skull felt like it was going to explode. It was too much. I couldn't carry such a burden. Past and present were becoming one. Nothing was making sense anymore. The faltering light was piercing my eyes. The scent of blood was making me feel sick. Falling on my knees, I realized I had killed my own companions because of a delusion. You killed everybody. No! Despite the guilt, despite how disgusted I was by myself, I had killed innocent people once again, and this time nobody had ordered me to do it. My sin was my own fault. I could not blame anyone but myself. Now we killed everybody. That's even worse. I thought it'd just be one. One of the undead rose, a weak hand towards me, bathed in their own blood. They sighed. Agatha? The arm fell to the ground. I burst into tears and screamed to exorcise my inner demon. Only silence was answering to my desperate cries, which were bouncing off the scarlet walls. The battlefield would not let me go. It was inside me. I was never able to escape from it. This moment of madness was inexcusable. I had to atone. Unable to bear the burden, I turned the gun against myself and aimed at the inside of my mouth. It was over. Just when I pulled the trigger, I noticed my reflection in the puddle of water, as if it were that of a stranger. On that face, the largest smile I've ever seen appeared. The person seemed unbelievably happy. And she takes everybody out, including herself, in the bad end. I wouldn't be able to live with that guilt either. Oh. That changed everything. And that's where I'm gonna leave off on this horrible ending. This game is absolutely fascinating, though. And I'm glad I found it. The writing is incredible. It digs very deep into these people's lives. They were in a vulnerable position, so they kind of revealed themselves more so. And it was very intriguing. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you guys so much for watching if you made it this far, and I